sound. Devo Jones with the pick six, Keanu Neal with the hard hit, getting the ball back on offense. Watch Julio Jones keep moving the sticks. Calvin really in for the score. We came back, we up 4, about to get in. Our victory stats, no coming back. We closing the door. A-T-L, blackout. A-T-L, blackout.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back once again with another rendition of the Pound for Pound Coaches Show. Last week we talked about Brian DeBall up there in Buffalo, and while I was researching Brian DeBall up there, obviously in Buffalo, I kept reading snippets and articles, and the name that kept coming up while reading them was Leslie Frazier. Now, Leslie Frazier is the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, and some of y'all may remember he spent 3 years as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings when Brett Favre was up there in Minnesota. The first year he took over, they won 3 games, and the second year he took over, from the time he took over, they went 10-6. Won the NFC North, I believe. They ended up second in the NFC North. Lost to the Packers in the playoffs that year. Now, it went a little bit downhill after that, but that was at the time where Minnesota's roster was starting to age and show its demise, so you had a lot of roster turnover at that point, and can't necessarily put that at the feet of Leslie Frazier, as you can't always put the personnel decisions at the feet of a coach. We know here in Atlanta that can happen. It's a team type decision. Depends on what kind of GM you got and all this other jazz. But y'all know that. Anyway, I'm getting off the point here. As I was reading, like I said, doing research on the offensive coordinator for the Bills, I kept reading a lot about Leslie Frazier and the turnaround that he and Sean McDermott were able to pull off in Buffalo with their, with their defense up there, turning them from, a decent unit into a formidable unit, and has only gotten better since they've been there. And McDermott, who you would tend to give him the credit, being that he was a defensive coordinator in Carolina, like I said, you would tend to give him the credit for the defensive turnaround up there in Buffalo, but he gives a ton of credit to Leslie Frazier, to a point where he gave him the assistant head coach title, which I know for us fans doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but that's one way to show the importance of a coach to the rest of the league. Now, we'll go ahead and here and talk about some of his history, right? And as you can see, he's been on the defensive side of the ball. He played for the 85 Bears, that vaunted 85 Bears defense that everybody loves to talk about and everybody loves to throw around. He played for them. So that's, for the ones who are looking for a coach who has played the game, Leslie Frazier is a guy who has played the game. He also has the backing of a one Tony Dungy, who I know gets a lot of respect, especially around here, and especially with our fan base, as far as a GM is considered. And if they do end up considering Tony Dungy as a GM, I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to bring in someone like a Leslie Frazier. But now you talk about like a man who doesn't toot his own horn. We've already talked about a couple of guys like that throughout our coaching series here. Leslie Frazier seems to be another one who's not about, beating his own chest and tooting his horn, but that's okay because he has the owners doing that for him. The Bills owners, Kim Palugla, y'all know I'm bad with names. Anyway, you have her calling other owners around the league, speaking about his, accolades and how well he has turned this, how impactful he has been for this defense. I keep hitting the wrong button. Anyway, oh, I made Leslie Frazier disappear. Okay, now got the right one that time. So the way I'm viewing Leslie Frazier and the things that I'm seeing and the things that people are talking about, it really makes me reminiscent of a Mike Smith hire. You know, a guy who may not necessarily have like a strong scheme, a strong like resume as far as his coaching pedigree goes, even though when he was the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, he increased their takeaways from like 24 to 36 in 1 year. And, you know, he increased their defensive efficiency with his time there, and their defensive efficiency went down drastically after he left. Like I said before, he's got a real good pedigree in the fact of that he has played for a Super Bowl team and he has coached on a Super Bowl team. He was part of Tony Dungy's coaching staff that won the Super Bowl in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning. So again, like I said before, sometimes, you know, coaches aren't always like clear-cut favorites and clear-cut choices that might necessarily like scream out like this is the guy. Like nobody really had much expectations of Mike Smith when he came here, and he's turned into one of if not the most winning coach in Falcons history. Had a better record than Dan Quinn, and so what Mike Smith was able to do up until the last few years is he was able to be the CEO of the team and manage the team and, you know, manage all, you know, the different aspects of the team. So with that being said, I believe it's something that Leslie Frazier can come in here and replicate. I think he could come in here and, you know, give a strong leadership presence to this team, be a culture guy. You know what I'm saying? You hear that term floated around quite a bit. Be a culture guy who can come in and, you know, turn the like makeup of this team around. He's been very instrumental in the Buffalo Bills and their turnaround. A lot of people credit him with how well Tre'Davious White has played over the past few years, making him like one of the best corners in the league. So you pair Leslie Frazier with a young corner such as A.J. Terrell, and even possibly could work wonders with Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield. You know, take this young, talented secondary that we have and, you know, maybe make it the strength of the team. That seems to be like his knack and his specialty. So, and also speaks like the amount of experience that he has already being a former head coach of, you know, in the NFL, being a, you know, head coach, you know, in college, you know, so he has that head coaching experience, that head coaching pedigree. And, you know, I know we don't always like retreads, but some guys I feel like deserve a second chance. And I definitely think that Leslie Frazier is one of those guys who, given the right opportunity, would, you know, could come in here, maybe even keep a Raheem Morris and a Jeff Ulbrich on the staff, let them continue running the defense, because they have done a pretty good job with the defense since Dan Quinn's been gone. So, you know, he's a guy who maybe could come in and just like continue to steer the ship, you know, which, you know, with the back end of Matt Ryan's career and with the, you know, whoever you're going to bring in next, you know, this is something that a head coach is going to have to think about, and a stabilizing presence might be just what the Falcons are looking for. And I definitely believe that Leslie Frazier could be that stabilizing presence. And with what he's witnessed with Brian Dabble, he figured he would have to see the importance of having a strong run game and having a flexible, creative offensive coordinator. That's what I got for y'all this week. You know, I encourage you to do some research and maybe watch some tape of the Buffalo Bills and give Leslie Frazier a consideration, because I really think that, I know I haven't talked about a ton of defensive-minded coaches, but I really think that Leslie Frazier could come in and be a strong, stabilizing force in the organization. But as always, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. We live stream every Tuesday at 7:30 during the season. Y'all can definitely jump in and join us there. Leave your comments down below who you think I should talk about next. The season is winding down, so I expect to start hearing some more rumors float up as the season ends. And if those rumors pop up or people that I haven't already talked about, I'll probably try to do a video on them. But either way, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of one Leslie Frazier. All right, folks. Peace.
Devo Jones with the pick six, Keanu Neal with the hard hit, get the ball back on offense. Watch Julio Jones keep moving the sticks. Calvin really in for the score. We came back, we up four, about to get in. Our victory stance, no coming back. We closing the door. A-T-L blackout. A-T